I want to tell you a story. So a number of years ago, in fact, quite a few years ago, I was just a kid. I ran the mile and competed in a lot of races, did pretty well. And I remember a race where it was a really good race. I ran hard. I pushed myself really hard. In fact, I pushed myself so hard that as I broke the tape, I fainted. Fortunately, the cutest cheerleader in the entire school was standing right there, and I fainted directly into her arms. And I fainted, got my, sort of collapsed, got my head down below my body, and blood came into and so I woke up enough to stand up again and immediately fainted into her arms like 4 times, which to a kid in junior high school, to be in the arms of the cutest cheerleader in the school was pretty cool at that moment. Unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that well for me. But long story short, the guy who was running the clock on me. So oftentimes in race, there's a person who has the clock for each person who's running the race. And the guy who was running my clock was my next door neighbor. And he was several years older than me. And as somehow later on that day or the next day, I can't remember all the details, he said to me, "Don, you ran a really good race." And I said, "Yeah, thank you." And he said, "I think you can cut 20 seconds off your time." I said, "Steve, I just ran the best race of my life. I just cut 20 seconds off my time. My best time ever. I went below 5 minutes on the mile for the first time ever. I came in at 4 minutes and 50 seconds. How dare you say that I can do better than that? You saw me faint 3 times. You saw this happen. And yet you say that you think I can do better?" And he says, "Yeah, I think you can do better. I watched you on that 3rd lap, and I think you could cut easily 10 seconds on that lap and 10 seconds on your 4th lap." I was so mad at him. I was so frustrated. How dare he diminish this accomplishment that I had just made? But it stuck in my mind. Could he actually be right? So I went to my coach the next morning and I said, "Hey, coach, this is what Steve told me." And he says, "Steve's right. I think you can cut 20 seconds off your time." And so I proceeded to train as if I was cutting 20 seconds off my time, which I'm not going to get technical. There's training you can actually do when you're trying to do that kind of thing. I trained that way. 2 weeks later, I ran another race and cut 23 seconds off my time. Best race of my life up to that point. Still ran faster. But the cool thing is I had somebody outside of me. So as far as I was concerned, I had just done the very best I could ever possibly do. I fainted at the end of the race and everything else like that. I laid everything on I'm going to mix metaphors. I laid everything on the court. Well, that piece of outside expertise from Steve caused me to rethink, had I truly done the best I ever could? And he was right. I, based upon this, as well as a whole bunch of other experiences, am a huge, huge fan of outside perspective. We all need someone outside of us to tell us where we can improve, to see the things that we're not seeing. The other day, I ended up having to move a coaching call back 5 minutes. And when I got on, I said, "Hey, I'm sorry. I was on with my coach and we were going along on this particular thing." And he says, "You have a coach?" And I said, "Absolutely. Of course I have a coach. The best in the world have coaches. Why shouldn't I?" I just want to put that out there to you. Do you have someone giving you outside perspective on your business? Someone you know and trust who knows your business and knows you. If you don't, you should get that person. What's your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.